Traveling after turning 70 can feel like a second chance at life. After years of caring for others and working hard, this stage finally brings the freedom to chase those dreams that once seemed out of reach. Maybe you've always pictured yourself strolling through the markets of Europe, enjoying a peaceful river cruise, or simply sitting by the ocean as the sun sets. There's a special kind of joy that comes with exploring the world at your own pace, with wisdom in your heart and curiosity still burning bright. But as exciting as travel can be, it's easy to overlook the challenges that come with age. Challenges that don't make the headlines, but quietly wait for the right moment to disrupt your plans. For women over 70, some of these risks are rarely talked about, but they're very real. From unexpected health emergencies to hidden financial traps, the road isn't always as smooth as we'd like to believe. That's why this video isn't just about inspiring you to travel. It's about making sure you have the knowledge and confidence to stay safe, healthy, and ready for every adventure that comes your way, no matter where your journey leads. If you are not subscribed, subscribe and activate the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. If you like the topic of this video, please comment 1. If you don't, please comment 0 to let me know how I can improve and make better videos for you. Now, let's begin. 1. Health emergencies while traveling after 70. There's a special kind of excitement that fills your heart as you watch your suitcase being zipped up, the anticipation of an upcoming trip sparkling in your eyes. Maybe you're heading for a sun-drenched Caribbean cruise, a tour of ancient European cathedrals, or a simple visit to see your grandchildren across the country. After decades of caring for others, building your life, and weathering all kinds of storms, travel becomes your well-earned reward, a chance to explore the world on your terms. For many, these adventures aren't just about places on a map. They're about freedom, purpose, and making precious memories while you still can. But as anyone who's ever been caught off guard far from home knows, travel after the age of 70 isn't quite the same as it was in your 30s or 40s. Your body, with all its wisdom and battle scars, doesn't always cooperate with your spirit of adventure. The safety net of familiar doctors, clinics, and routines is left behind. And while these changes don't mean you should stop traveling, they do mean that careful preparation is essential, because health emergencies can and do happen, sometimes with very little warning. Take Harold and his wife, for instance. They dreamed for years of celebrating their anniversary with a cruise through the Caribbean. Harold was 74, still golfing every week, and had passed his latest checkup with flying colors. To him, age was just a number. 4 days into their voyage, after a long walk around the upper deck, Harold began feeling a pain in his chest. It started mild, the sort of discomfort you might blame on a heavy lunch. But soon it traveled down his left arm, and he started sweating through his shirt. Panic set in, not just for him, but for his wife, who had never felt so far away from home. The ship's medical center did its best, but it didn't have the advanced equipment to diagnose a heart attack. The weather turned stormy, delaying the emergency helicopter meant to evacuate him. Hours later, Harold finally reached a hospital on land, scared and exhausted, with his wife in tears by his side. He survived, but the bills, more than $28,000, were almost as shocking as the experience itself. Most of the cost wasn't covered by his insurance. What started as a joyful getaway became a financial and emotional ordeal that changed the way they thought about traveling. Harold's story isn't meant to scare anyone into staying home. Instead, it's a reminder that, after 70, you simply have to plan differently. Your health is precious, and being far from your regular doctors can turn a simple health hiccup into a major crisis if you're not prepared. Even if you're fit, just the act of traveling can introduce unexpected health risks, especially on long flights or in unfamiliar climates. One of the most serious threats is deep vein thrombosis, or DVT. This condition develops when a blood clot forms in a vein, usually in the leg, after sitting still for a long time, like during a cross-country flight or an extended bus ride. If that clot breaks loose and travels to the lungs, it can be life-threatening. DVT isn't just a theoretical risk. It's a hidden danger that's caught many healthy older travelers off guard. Your circulation naturally slows with age, and dehydration or cramped airplane seats only make matters worse. Air travel itself brings additional challenges. The dry, pressurized air inside a plane can be tough on your lungs, especially if you have asthma, heart problems, or any chronic lung condition. Altitude changes, even mild ones, may leave you feeling dizzy or weak. A simple cold at home can become a lingering cough in the unfamiliar air of a new country. For women, whose bodies may be more sensitive to changes in air quality and temperature, these little stresses can add up quickly. And then, there's the reality of medical insurance. Many older Americans assume that their regular health insurance, or even Medicare, will protect them no matter where they go. The truth is, Medicare rarely covers medical care outside the United States, except in very limited and unusual circumstances. Private insurance often has strict limitations, especially when it comes to emergency evacuations or hospital stays in foreign countries. That means you could be left to pay thousands, even tens of thousands of dollars, for care you thought was covered. So, what does smart preparation look like? It begins long before you ever set foot on a plane or a ship. A month before you leave, make an appointment with your primary care doctor. Don't just ask for a quick checkup. Have an honest conversation about your travel plans. Mention where you're going, how you'll get there, and what kinds of activities you hope to do. Your doctor can help you assess whether your current medications are travel-friendly and ensure your vaccinations are up to date. If you're managing chronic health issues like diabetes, high blood pressure, or a heart condition, ask your doctor for specific travel advice. You might need new prescriptions, a supply of backup medication, or even a letter explaining your conditions and treatments. Especially helpful if you wind up in a foreign hospital where medical staff may not be fluent in English. Once you've checked in with your doctor, turn your attention to what you'll carry with you. Always pack extra medication in your carry-on, not just enough for your trip, but for a few extra days in case of delays. Keep a written list of all your prescriptions, including dosages and the generic names, tucked into your purse or wallet. Consider wearing a medical alert bracelet if you have a condition that might need immediate attention. When it comes to flying, the little things add up. Make it a personal rule to stand up and walk around at least once every hour on the plane. Flex your ankles, stretch your legs, and move your toes to keep blood flowing. If your doctor recommends compression socks, don't leave home without them. They may feel a little snug, but they can be a lifesaver when it comes to preventing blood clots. Drink plenty of water, but be mindful of caffeine and alcohol, both of which can dehydrate you quickly in the dry cabin air. Before you go, take some time to research local hospitals or clinics near your destination, especially if you're headed somewhere off the beaten path. If you're cruising, ask about the onboard medical facilities, how well equipped they are, what language the doctors speak, and what happens if you need to be transferred to a hospital on land. A little knowledge ahead of time can make a world of difference in an emergency. Above all, never travel without comprehensive travel insurance. Look for a policy that covers both medical emergencies and emergency evacuation. Make sure it also covers pre-existing conditions if you have any. This isn't a luxury for older travelers. It's a necessity. The peace of mind you get knowing that you won't face crushing bills or logistical nightmares if something goes wrong is worth every penny. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 1 below to let me know that you are still here with me. But even the best plans can't prevent every problem. That's why it's so important to listen to your body. Don't brush off symptoms that feel unusual, and don't hesitate to seek help if something seems wrong. Traveling at 70 and beyond is about embracing new experiences, but it's also about respecting your body's signals and honoring the wisdom you've earned over a lifetime. Sometimes, taking a short break, drinking a glass of water, or choosing to rest instead of pushing through the day's itinerary is the best gift you can give yourself. The world will still be there tomorrow. Your health and safety always come first. So as you set out on your next adventure, remember Harold's story, not as a cautionary tale to keep you at home, but as a gentle nudge to be ready for the unexpected. Preparation, awareness, and a little extra care can make all the difference, turning potential emergencies into manageable bumps along the road. After all, travel in your golden years should be about joy, discovery, and connection. With the right planning, you can step confidently into the world, knowing you're ready for whatever comes your way. And that, in itself, is one of the greatest freedoms of all. 2. Infections and contamination while traveling. As the plane touches down in a new country, excitement dances in your chest. You're eager to taste new foods, stroll through colorful markets, and try experiences you've only seen in travel magazines. That feeling of stepping into the unknown is part of what makes travel after 70 so rewarding. A reminder that wonder never grows old. But hidden beneath the charm of foreign places, there's a quiet risk that deserves every senior traveler's attention: infection and contamination. Our bodies are miraculous, but they change as we age. The same immune system that once bounced back from anything now needs a little extra support. As we get older, our natural defenses slow down. It's not something anyone likes to admit, but it's a fact of life, and it's why infections and contaminated food or water can do more harm to someone in their 70s than they would to a 20-year-old. Consider the story of Grace, a 76-year-old retired librarian from Colorado, who had always dreamed of exploring Southeast Asia. When her moment finally arrived, she was determined to savor every new flavor and adventure. On her second day in Thailand, she picked up a fresh salad and a fruit drink with ice from a bustling market stall. She wanted to live like a local, to experience the authentic side of travel. That night, Grace felt a rumble in her stomach, and by sunrise, she was doubled over with nausea, fever, and an unquenchable thirst. The culprit? Contaminated water in the ice and raw vegetables. For the next 4 days, instead of wandering through temples and floating markets, Grace was stuck in a small hospital room, weak, lonely, and missing out on the trip of her dreams. Her recovery was slow and left her feeling more vulnerable than ever. The simple joy of trying something new had turned into a lesson she would never forget. Grace's story isn't unique. It's far more common than most travelers realize. As Americans, we're used to strict regulations on food safety and water quality, but that's not the case everywhere. The water that comes from the tap in another country might be teeming with bacteria or parasites that your body simply isn't ready to handle. Even ice cubes, innocent and refreshing, can hide risks if they're made from untreated water. That lovely fruit salad might have been washed in water that's perfectly fine for the locals but dangerous for visitors. The danger isn't limited to what we eat or drink. Every surface in a busy airport, airplane, or hotel has been touched by countless strangers. Tray tables, elevator buttons, seat belt buckles, and even the remote control in your hotel room. These everyday items can harbor germs for hours or days. The air in crowded places is dry and recycled, making it easier for viruses to float from one person to the next. After a lifetime of being careful, it can feel unfair that something as simple as washing your hands can mean the difference between a dream vacation and a miserable week in bed. Why do these infections hit older travelers harder? As we age, our stomach acid weakens, making it easier for germs to slip through. Our immune systems are slower to respond. Medications for chronic conditions, like diabetes or rheumatoid arthritis, can further lower our natural defenses. An illness that would last a day or two in a younger person might linger for a week or more in someone over 70, sometimes leading to serious complications like dehydration, pneumonia, or kidney trouble. That's why preparation isn't just wise, it's essential. Before you even book your flight, talk with your doctor about where you're going. Ask whether you need extra vaccines, hepatitis A, typhoid, or an updated flu shot for your destination. If you're taking medications that affect your immune system, ask what extra steps you should take. Bring enough medicine for your whole trip, plus a few extra days, in case of delays. Pack it in your carry-on, and keep a written list of what you're taking, just in case you need to visit a pharmacy or clinic abroad. A well-packed travel health kit is one of the best ways to protect yourself. Don't leave home without hand sanitizer, disinfecting wipes, a digital thermometer, anti-diarrheal medicine, electrolyte packets, probiotics, and pain relievers. You might feel a little over-prepared at first, but when you're far from home, you'll be grateful for every item in that kit. It's a small investment for a big dose of peace of mind. Eating out is one of the highlights of travel, but it's also where you need to be most careful. Choose restaurants that are busy and have good reputations, places that locals trust. Food that's been sitting out too long, served at room temperature, or prepared out of sight can be risky. Don't be afraid to politely decline raw salads, unpeeled fruits, or undercooked meats. When in doubt, opt for foods that are hot, freshly cooked, and prepared in front of you. Peel your fruit when possible, and avoid fresh juices or smoothies from roadside stands unless you can see for yourself that everything is clean. Water safety is a top priority. Drink only bottled or filtered water, and use it for brushing your teeth, too. Avoid ice unless you know for certain it's made from safe water. It might feel strange to turn down a cool drink on a hot day, but it's a small price to pay for a healthy trip. Be careful with street food. It's tempting and often delicious, but be sure you can watch how it's prepared, and when in doubt, choose something cooked thoroughly and served piping hot. When you're on the move, make hand washing a habit. Use soap and water as often as you can, especially after touching money, riding public transportation, or before meals. When soap isn't available, hand sanitizer with at least 60% alcohol is your best friend. Wipe down airplane trays, armrests, and hotel remotes as soon as you settle in. Avoid touching your face, especially your mouth, nose, and eyes, until your hands are clean. If you do start to feel unwell, don't ignore it or try to push through. Tell your travel companion right away, and rest. Sometimes, early treatment can mean the difference between a quick recovery and a full-blown emergency. Contact your travel insurance provider. They can help you find a trusted doctor or clinic nearby. Take time to hydrate, even if you're not thirsty. Dehydration can sneak up quickly, especially in a warm climate or after a stomach bug. Being cautious isn't about being afraid. It's about being wise and valuing your well-being. You deserve to enjoy every moment of your travels, and a few careful habits can help you do just that. Don't let worries about germs or infection stop you from making memories. Instead, use them as motivation to travel smarter. It's easy to feel invincible when you're swept up in the excitement of a new place, but your body is counting on you to be its advocate. With a little preparation and a lot of common sense, you can reduce your risk of infection and focus on what matters most. Discovering new places, meeting new people, and savoring life's adventures, one careful step at a time. After all, the world is wide, and wonder is waiting for you. Just make sure you're healthy enough to enjoy it every single day of your journey. 3. Travel fatigue and recovery challenges. There's a special thrill in planning a trip after you retire. You can finally choose your own pace, set your schedule, and cross places off your bucket list that you've dreamed of for decades. But if you're like most older travelers, you might discover that the reality of travel feels different now than it did years ago. Maybe you remember those whirlwind days in your 40s or 50s, dashing through airports, staying up late in bustling cities, and still waking up refreshed the next morning. Somehow, time seems to move a bit faster now, while your energy recovers a little slower. Traveling after 70 is still a gift, but it comes with a few surprises, especially when it comes to fatigue and recovery. The same trip that leaves your younger travel companions exhilarated may leave you longing for an afternoon nap and a cup of tea. The truth is, travel can be as exhausting as it is exhilarating, and the body needs more care, patience, and kindness as we grow older. Let's imagine Evelyn, a retired school principal who spent years putting everyone else's needs ahead of her own. At 75, she finally decided it was her turn to see the world. She planned the adventure of a lifetime, 12 days, 6 countries, every site on her dream list. The excitement was palpable, She booked guided tours, city walks, train rides, and museum visits, determined to make every minute count. The first couple of days went well enough, though the transatlantic flight left her a little more stiff and sore than she expected. By the third day, Evelyn started to feel the real effects of her ambitious itinerary. She was up early every morning, dragging her suitcase through bustling train stations and climbing the endless stairs in ancient buildings. Her legs ached from walking over cobblestones, and by afternoon, her back was sore and her mind felt fuzzy. She pushed herself to keep going. After all, she'd come all this way and didn't want to miss a thing. But by the fifth day, her body had had enough. She woke with a scratchy throat and the beginnings of a cold. The rest of the trip passed in a blur. She was tired, distracted, and spent more time napping in her hotel room than marveling at the museum she'd dreamed of for years. By the time she flew home, Evelyn promised herself that if she ever traveled again, she'd do it differently. Evelyn's experience isn't unusual. Our bodies change in countless ways as we age, and the physical and mental stresses of travel hit us harder. Sleep becomes more fragile. Strange beds, noisy hotels, or even a different pillow can make it tough to rest deeply. Digestion slows, and changes in time zones can leave you groggy or irritable for days. The simple act of walking through airports, lifting suitcases, or standing in line at customs takes a bigger toll than it used to. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 2 below to let me know that you are still here with me. Jet lag, for instance, isn't just a minor inconvenience anymore. Crossing multiple time zones disrupts your natural body clock. For older adults, it can take several days to adjust, affecting their mood, their memory, their appetite, and even their balance. What's more, if you don't allow yourself time to recover, you may find that you're not only tired, you're more vulnerable to illness, confusion, and even falls. The pace of modern travel can also make things worse. Many tours and cruises are designed for speed. Hop on the bus, jump off for photos, hurry through the next historic site, and then do it all over again. Even if you're not on a guided tour, the temptation to pack in as much as possible is strong. You might think, I've come all this way, why waste a single minute? But squeezing too much into your days can quickly turn excitement into exhaustion. Another challenge is that recovery just takes longer. A poor night's sleep or a day of strenuous sightseeing can linger in your body for several days. In your 20s or 30s, you could bounce back with a good meal and a little rest. After 70, your body may need a whole day, or more, to truly recover. And if you keep pushing through fatigue, you may find yourself missing out on the joy you traveled so far to experience. So, what does traveling smarter look like? It begins with being honest about what your body needs. For every 2 or 3 days of sightseeing, plan for a full rest day. Permit yourself to sleep in, to have a leisurely breakfast, or to spend a morning sitting in a park or a cafe, simply soaking in the atmosphere. Rest isn't wasted time. It's what gives you the energy and clarity to enjoy the rest of your journey. Next, consider the power of pacing. Instead of rushing through 6 cities in 10 days, pick 2 or 3 places to explore more deeply. Staying longer in one location lets you settle into a rhythm, learn the neighborhood, and avoid the constant stress of packing and unpacking. You'll remember more, connect with people more easily, and truly savor the experience. It's also wise to avoid early morning or late night flights and transfers when you can. Try to choose direct flights and allow yourself plenty of time to recover from jet lag. When booking hotels, look for those with quiet rooms, supportive mattresses, blackout curtains, and good reviews from other older travelers. Don't underestimate the comfort of a familiar pillow or a hot shower after a long day. Packing smart can also make a world of difference. Bring comfortable, loose-fitting clothes, layers for changing temperatures, and shoes with good support for long days of walking. Carry snacks and a bottle of water to keep your energy steady during delays or layovers. If you use a cane or a walking stick, bring it proudly. These aids aren't a sign of weakness, but of wisdom and self-respect. Perhaps most importantly, listen to your limits and respect them. You're not competing with anyone else, and there's no prize for being the busiest tourist in the group. If you need to skip an excursion or nap in the afternoon, let yourself do so without guilt. You've earned the right to travel on your terms. If your legs are tired, take a break. If your mind is foggy, rest until you feel clear again. Share your needs with your travel companions. 2. Let them know that you might need a slower pace or more breaks, and encourage open communication about everyone's comfort. If you're joining a tour, ask ahead about how strenuous the days will be, and don't hesitate to choose tours that offer a gentler pace. With a little self-awareness and thoughtful planning, travel after 7-0 can be just as meaningful, if not more so, than it ever was. You'll find that the slower moments, the quiet conversations, and the chance to immerse yourself in a place are the true rewards of seeing the world later in life. Travel is about discovery, connection, and joy, not about checking off a list of landmarks as quickly as possible. So slow down, take care of yourself, and let your adventures unfold at a pace that honors the body and spirit you've spent a lifetime building. In doing so, you'll not only see more of the world, you'll actually feel it, appreciate it, and carry it home in your heart. And isn't that what travel, at any age, is truly all about? 4. Falls and injuries. There's a kind of magic in traveling as you get older, a gentle, grateful magic that comes from seeing the world with seasoned eyes and a heart that appreciates every small wonder. You find yourself lingering longer in old churches, marveling at city parks, or just sitting quietly on a bench with your coffee, watching life unfold in a new place. But while travel invites us to be explorers again, it also presents risks we can't ignore, especially the kind that happen in the blink of an eye. Falls and injuries. Falls are, without question, one of the most common and serious dangers for older travelers. At home, you may have your routines and your safe spaces. You know which rugs to avoid, how many steps it is from your bedroom to the kitchen at night, and where the best light switch is. But step into a hotel room in a city you've never seen, or wander through a bustling market where the ground is anything but even, and suddenly, all those careful habits are put to the test. Let's spend a moment with Clara, a fiercely independent 78-year-old from Illinois. For years, she'd walked every day, rarely relying on anything more than a sturdy pair of sneakers to keep her steady. When she finally made it to Italy, a lifelong dream, she was enchanted by Florence's cobblestone alleys, the soft evening lights, and the ancient stone bridges. On her second night, Clara was returning to her hotel, her heart full, her mind replaying the music she'd heard in a nearby plaza. She never saw the curb sticking up just a little higher than the rest. Her foot caught, her balance failed, and in a heartbeat, she was on the ground, pain shooting up her hip. Strangers rushed to help. They gently helped her sit up and offered water, but Clara couldn't stand. The pain was sharp, insistent, and unfamiliar. A visit to the hospital confirmed a fractured hip, and soon she was facing emergency surgery in a country where she didn't speak the language, far from family and friends. Clara's trip ended not with a wine toast in the Tuscan sun, but months of recovery and physical therapy at home. It was a loss of adventure, yes, but more than that, it was a loss of confidence, a wound that cut deeper than any physical scar. Clara's story is more common than you might imagine. Statistically, falls are the #1 cause of injury-related hospital visits for older adults, and traveling only increases the risk. Why? Because the world, as beautiful as it is, isn't built with seniors in mind. The winding, uneven streets of European villages, historic sites without elevators or handrails, slippery tiles in hotel bathrooms, or even the unpredictable rocking of a cruise ship, each of these can turn a simple misstep into a life-changing accident. Think about the places that draw us as travelers. The charm of cobblestones, the adventure of ancient ruins, the appeal of little cafes tucked down narrow alleys. They're delightful, but often treacherous underfoot. Some destinations, especially in Europe or older American cities, were never designed with wheelchairs, walkers, or even steady footing in mind. Add in the fatigue of long flights, a bit of jet lag, or the distraction of an exciting day, and your body's natural balance is already a bit off. Even seemingly modern environments aren't always safe. Cruise ships, for all their luxury and convenience, hide their own set of hazards. A wet pool deck, a moving hallway when the ship tilts, or a narrow bathroom doorway can all make you feel off balance. If you're already tired or just not paying close attention, that's when accidents strike. But the risks don't end with the fall itself. When you're in a new city or a foreign country, getting help can be complicated. You may not know where the nearest hospital is, or whether anyone will speak your language. Emergency rooms can be confusing and overwhelming, especially if you're hurting or in shock. And then there's the financial piece. Hospital stays, surgery, medical equipment, or even a flight home can all become expensive hurdles, especially if your insurance doesn't cover overseas care. Does that mean you should be afraid to travel? Not at all. It simply means you deserve to travel prepared, and to travel smart. Preparation starts before you ever leave home. When you choose your destination, consider accessibility as much as beauty. Look for cities with good sidewalks, modern infrastructure, reliable transportation, and hotels that are clear about their accessibility features. If you call ahead, ask about elevators, ground floor rooms, and bathrooms with grab bars. These small details can be the difference between freedom and frustration. And don't underestimate the value of the right footwear. Those stylish sandals might look great in photos, but on a cobblestone street, they're an accident waiting to happen. Invest in sturdy, supportive shoes with non-slip soles. Think of them as safety equipment, not just clothing. If you use a cane, walking stick, or rollator at home, don't leave it behind out of pride or inconvenience. Today's travel canes are lightweight and collapsible. They'll fit easily into your luggage and can be the key to maintaining your independence. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 3 below to let me know that you are still here with me. Lighting is another hidden hazard. Unfamiliar hotel rooms or airbnbs often have dim hallways or confusing layouts. Bring a small flashlight, or use your phone's light, especially at night. Always scan the room for uneven floors, unexpected steps, or loose rugs the moment you arrive. In the bathroom, take note of where the towels and grab bars are, and always move slowly if the floor is wet. But it's not just about your environment. Fatigue is your body's quiet enemy. After a long day of sightseeing, your legs and balance may not be as sharp as they were in the morning. Build regular breaks into your plans. Sit down whenever you feel tired, hydrate often, and don't be afraid to slow the pace. You're not falling behind. You're taking care of yourself so the adventure can continue. Be open with your travel companions. 2. Let them know if you need to stop or if something feels off. If you're part of a tour group, ask about the physical demands ahead of time. Some tours offer gentle walking or alternate routes for those who want to see the sights without the strain. Travel insurance is another layer of protection you should never skip. Make sure your policy includes coverage for injuries and emergency medical care, even physical therapy or evacuation if needed. The cost is small compared to the peace of mind it brings. All these preparations aren't about giving in to fear, they're about claiming your right to travel safely, on your terms. Every step you take to reduce risk is an act of self-respect and love for the people who care about you. You've waited a lifetime for these journeys. You deserve to enjoy them without unnecessary worry. So next time you zip up your suitcase, tuck in your passport, and double-check your itinerary, remember that being cautious isn't the opposite of being adventurous. It's what allows you to keep exploring, keep discovering, and keep coming home with stories to tell. Let the world surprise you with its beauty, not with an avoidable accident. The best journeys are those you return from safely, ready for the next. Because at the end of the day, the greatest adventure is living well, one confident, steady step at a time. 5. Financial risks and insurance gaps. When you dream about traveling after 65, It's easy to picture the fun parts: the airports, the comfy hotels, the museums, and the quiet moments sipping coffee in a quaint cafe. You imagine postcards and sunsets, new friendships, and maybe even a little adventure. But behind the scenes of every trip lies a reality that many older travelers don't think about until it's too late: the financial risks that can turn a joyful journey into a costly nightmare. Take, for example, the assumption many seniors make that their health insurance or Medicare will have them covered no matter where they go. It's an understandable belief. After all, Medicare has been a safety net for millions of Americans. But when it comes to international travel, Medicare's coverage is extremely limited. Outside the United States, it only pays in very specific, rare cases, like if you're traveling close to the Canadian or Mexican border and need emergency care. For the vast majority of travelers, that means if you get sick or injured abroad, Medicare won't foot the bill. This gap can come as a shock. Imagine you break a bone or catch a serious illness in Europe or Asia. The hospital bills start piling up, thousands, even tens of thousands of dollars, and you're expected to pay them yourself. Private insurance policies often don't cover these costs either, or have limits that fall far short of the real expenses. Emergency medical evacuations, for example, can cost $50,000 or more. It's a terrifying thought, suddenly being sick or injured in a foreign country, far from your support system, and facing a mountain of bills. Then there's the risk of trip cancellations. Life is unpredictable, and even the most carefully planned vacations can be upended by illness, family emergencies, or travel document issues. Airlines, cruise lines, and tour operators typically have strict cancellation policies. You might lose a significant portion, or even all, of your prepaid trip costs if you cancel close to the departure date without insurance. It's heartbreaking to lose thousands of dollars on a trip you never got to take. And if that weren't enough, there's the world of travel scams, which often target seniors. Fraudulent websites promising cheap hotel deals or flights, fake vacation rentals, and dishonest taxi drivers are just a few of the traps waiting for unsuspecting travelers. Mabel, a 76-year-old retired nurse, learned this the hard way. She found what seemed like a perfect beachfront hotel through a third-party website, paid in full to secure her reservation, and arrived to discover the address was an abandoned building. The booking site had disappeared, and her money was gone. Forced to scramble for a last-minute room at twice the cost, Mabel never recovered her deposit. Stories like hers aren't rare. They're a painful reminder that when you travel, your hard-earned savings need protection as much as your health. So, how can you protect yourself from these financial pitfalls? The first step is to invest in comprehensive travel insurance tailored to your needs. Look for a policy that covers international medical emergencies, emergency evacuation, trip cancellation, lost luggage, and trip interruption. Read the fine print carefully, and don't hesitate to ask questions. Make sure the policy reimburses you for actual costs, not just a set amount. If your regular health insurance doesn't cover travel, consider purchasing supplemental insurance specifically designed for seniors or travelers. When booking accommodations or tours, stick to well-known and trusted websites. Avoid deals that seem too good to be true or agencies you haven't heard of. Whenever possible, book directly through official hotel websites or large, verified platforms. Use credit cards that offer fraud protection and travel coverage, and avoid wire transfers or prepaid debit cards for reservations. Cash withdrawals should be made only at ATMs located inside banks or major hotels, where tampering is less likely. When entering your PIN, shield the keypad. And always be cautious with unsolicited offers or friendly strangers handing out gifts or deals. It's okay to smile and politely decline. Traveling after 65 should be about freedom, discovery, and joy, not about financial stress or fear of scams. By planning, knowing your insurance options, and protecting your money, you can enjoy your trip with confidence. Remember, your savings are the fruits of a lifetime of work, sacrifice, and planning. They deserve your care, just like your health. With the right preparation, you can turn your travel dreams into beautiful memories, without the burden of unexpected financial worries. Because at the end of the day, the best trip is one where your heart and your wallet both return home safe and sound. Traveling after 70 is truly one of life's great joys, a chance to embrace freedom, explore new places, and create memories that last a lifetime. But as we've shared, it's important to remember that this adventure comes with unique challenges. Whether it's unexpected health issues, hidden risks of infection, the toll of travel fatigue, the dangers of falls, or financial pitfalls, being prepared is the key to turning your journey into a positive, empowering experience. The good news is that with a little planning, a bit of knowledge, and some thoughtful self-care, you can overcome these obstacles and travel confidently, knowing you've done everything possible to protect your health, safety, and peace of mind. Your life experience has given you wisdom that no guidebook can offer. Listen to your body, honor your limits, and don't be afraid to ask for help when you need it. Surround yourself with trusted companions and take the time to rest when necessary. And above all, invest in good travel insurance. Choose your destinations carefully and keep a small health kit handy. These simple steps are the foundation for countless wonderful trips still ahead of you. We'd love to hear from you. What has been your most memorable travel experience since turning 65? Or perhaps there's one lesson you've learned about staying safe and healthy on the road that you'd like to share with others. Please leave a comment below and let us know your story. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends and family, and subscribe to our channel for more tips and stories designed especially for travelers like you. Your journey matters, and we're here to help you make it as joyful and safe as possible. Thank you for watching, and happy travels!